Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to this beautiful summer afternoon at the Malkan show. I hope each of you is doing beautiful and enjoying the summer. I mean, the heat is at its maximum and it's super humid, but it's a lovely, lovely summertime. So before we begin today's show, let's see who's logging in from where this afternoon. If you're there watching me live, please share your name and where you're from, and then let's have some basic conversation and then let's jump in. Today I've got a beautiful topic to speak on. It is again one of my favorites. I love to have conversations with people on this topic, and then let's see who's joining us today. Here we have Bala from Chennai. Hi Bala, good afternoon. We have Raghuveer from Raghuveer. Where are you from? Good afternoon, Raghuveer. Nipani. Okay. Good afternoon, guys. There was one conversation that I was having with someone. He was a trader. This is a trader related conversation where he was sharing about how basic, he's been following one simple system and doing that consistently since years. And that one thing that has kept him stuck to that system and his belief in the system is the work that he's done on the mind. And now he said over the last 3 to 4 years, he's not read much about anything but just about the psychology of how the mindset works, especially for the trader. This was something very interesting. I thought I'd share with all the traders here that how important it is. Systems are, they just make up probably maybe 20% of what we do, but 80% is made up of what is in here. And that's exactly, I try to draw on this show as well. All these little things that we encounter in our daily lives, they all go to make the kind of person that we are taking into the whole. And that's where it all counts and that's where it all matters. Hi, Preeta. Good to see you. Preeta from Bangalore joins us. Yes, we have more people joining in. So today, guys, I would like to speak on something which is very easily, a possible thing where it's a very generic topic, and we just talk about it casually, but never ever we think about it deeply, and also the impact that it has on the work that we do and the kind of lives that we live. And that thing, guys, is called the attitude. The attitude that you live each day of your life really determines the kind of life that you create for yourself. That is it. I've also written a part of it in the book called hashtag hashtags for people who are yet to get a copy for yourself. Please go to this link. There is the book along with a few bonus courses available at a very nominal price. Also, the book is available on Amazon, both the physical and the Kindle version. So if you have not yet got it, please get a copy for yourself. So jumping into today's topic, guys, before we begin, I would like to ask you about this topic. How do you feel about it, and how much importance? How much can you relate the presence of the? Can you relate the importance of this word called attitude in the way that it's shaped up your life up till now? Have you paid attention to what attitude you're living with? Does it ring a bell? Have you worked on it ever until now? For those who are in, if you'd like to share your view on today's topic, on how does it feel for you to talk about attitude, how often do you feel about it, do you think about it and its effect on your lifestyle? I'd like to share. Saurabh, Rohan, Apurva, Ramesh, whoever is there, please feel free to share before we jump in. I've got some very interesting conversations. I've been researching a lot about this topic and all the successful people. You see Darren Hardy, you see Jim Rohn, you see Nelson Mandela. I've got the best of what people have to say on this topic. But before that, I want you to know, how do you feel about this topic? Have you uh, yes, Vishal says your attitude defines your altitude, which is so, so true. What do others feel about this topic? How has this determined your life until now? Does anybody want to share in this? Imagine, all of us are in this journey of life. For instance, just imagine that there is this inherent force that is testing you right now. And throughout this entire journey of life that we are living, imagine that you are being tested, that all the struggles, all the things that you go through are just tests that God is putting it on you, and you're not even aware. And this entire, in exchange of all the troubles or the diversities and all the struggles that you're experiencing, in exchange of that, all that you're getting is everlasting personal growth. Personal growth that's going to last for a lifetime without you being aware of it. how not only personal growth, a deeper understanding, everlasting awareness. How would you take that then? Would your attitude really change if you knew that all your struggles till now are being exchanged for your long lasting awareness, a deeper understanding of your own self? But most of the time we are not aware, and that's the reason our diversities and our struggles keep pinching us all the time. But that's the reason, instead of going through the entire tough trail, what we choose is we choose idleness. What we choose is we choose fault finding with each other. We choose our hangovers from doing nothing at all. That is what we get onto, because none of us are aware that what we're going through is in result of, is in exchange of the personal growth that we're being offered, and that also for a lifetime. So when you read about these successful people, people who have made it happen, people who have achieved their goals and made a change on the planet, the more you read about them, the more you find out that it is our natural destiny to grow and to prosper. All of us, it's very natural that we are, given the scheme of things in life, we're all going to grow, we're all going to prosper. Especially in the current times, guys, we're living in this day and age where there are endless opportunities for us to grow. I mean, opportunities are abound. It is within our reach to find out the life of our dreams, to find out that personal area of excellence where you would want to excel and discover your highest potential. It's upon us to find out, and that is what I call your personal wealth. That's your personal wealth. Because if you think about it, guys, there's no glory in living poor. There are people, I know there are religious texts that advocate it, but they have been misinterpreted to an extent. There's no glory in living a life of poverty. The glory lies in discovering your wealth, in being wealthy. And by wealth, I don't only mean the physical wealth. I mean also your personal wealth, where you're trying to get to the best of your abilities. Right. So what happens when you're poor? Your poverty only represses you. It suppresses everything that you have within you. Because what happens is, those who chose, when you're poor, all you're doing is you're choosing not to use your talents, which each of us is abundant with. All of us have this hidden talents within us, but when you're poor, you're choosing not to use those talents. So when you don't use your talents, you're choosing for your life to be governed by those who are using theirs. People, some or the other person is going to discover their talent, right? And when you don't choose to discover that, you choose to lie idle and not do anything about the gifts that nature has given you putting life into their lap. They will govern your life, and that is when you say, I am this a scapegoat of circumstances. I am being used, but I'm poor, I'm not able to make myself a living. But that's not the case. If you think about it, those people whom you feel have a say in your life, they have the ones who have discovered their talent. How many times do you feel that? Can I even relate to this when I'm saying that if you don't choose to discover the greatness in you, you'll be commanded by others who do. Have you ever experienced that? You can share if you have ever experienced this in your life. Someone says, when if your attitude is positive, we can also see some good in every bad or worse things that happen to us. Which is so true. We need to develop such attitude. It takes time to develop such mindset. It takes time, and if I may add here, it takes effort to develop this mindset. It takes practice. It takes constant practice, because once you're aware that you lack the right attitude, it's all about working on yourself to develop this kind of attitude, right? So that's what it is. So but the problem is, guys, some people do not try to advance that situation. They don't try to take that effort that is needed to get on with their attitude. Imagine all the successful people who have been there, done that, and put a dent on the universe. Imagine if they wouldn't have taken the effort. Imagine if Abraham Lincoln or Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, they would not have taken the effort to cause the shift in their attitude. Where would we be? Would we have had such great examples before us to study and create that change in ourselves? Probably not, right? How many of us have read about such people? Can anyone share? Have you read about these great people here? Some of which whom I mentioned, and some of which there are many, many more. There are endless number of people. There may be some around you too. So can you share if you've read about someone and about whom you were touched or moved by the way they have lived, the attitude with which they have lived their life, you would like to share here, I'd love to listen to. Well, Rajesh Chugani shares attitude is confidence and the ability to understand all the ups and downs of life and still remain calm. Yes, that's what it is. That's something within us that is untouched in spite of everything that we go through, and that is the attitude to how to discover that part. So skill has to be learned from a mentor. Yes, mentor shows you the way. It's not only about learning. It's all about modeling their lives, the way they are living. If we try to model the attitude, that is where we get to them. It's about modeling the attitude what they've had in their life, right? So the only limitation when we try to do this entire exercise, the only limitation that we have on our abilities is our inability to recognize our talents, our unlimited nature. So many times in conversations, I hear people say that this is something which is beyond my reach, or they say things like, this is something which is impossible for me to achieve, I could never do such a thing, or I don't have the skill, or maybe this is not for me. And this shows how sadly unaware they are of what lies within them. And this is the lack of effort that it takes to recognize your unlimited potential. And that's the only limitation we have on our thing, because guys, it takes a lot of effort to do that, to realize this. It takes effort to realize your abilities. It takes effort to get enthusiastic over your passion, over the mission that you're living on this planet Earth. It takes effort to continue towards your mission when you have people around you, when you have your friends to tell you to stop doing, to not chase your dream. It takes effort to chase your dream in spite of all the adversities that you're surrounded with. It takes effort to feel right about everything that's happening in your life. It takes effort to love ourselves above all. It takes effort to do that, especially after being aware of the failures and doubts. We all have failures. We all are surrounded by. We all have some of the doubts within us, but it takes effort to rise above them, right? But there's just one thing which doesn't require any effort at all. Can you guess that what that one thing is? For this one thing, you don't need any effort. It just happens. You know how it happens? It happens, all it takes is a deteriorating attitude in life, a very sick and a very dull attitude in life about your past, about your present, and about your whole self. Once your attitude deteriorates, this thing is certain. What is that thing? If anybody can tell me, what's that? What is that one thing that happens once your attitude in life just deteriorates? What's that thing that would happen? Yes, anybody would like to say that? Come on, guys. When we talk about effort to do various things, what is it that takes? That doesn't take effort. What happens when you don't take effort to rise above it? What happens when you don't take effort to chase your dreams in spite of all the adversities? What happens then? All of us have been through various of these things that happen, and all of us know why we go through these things. What is that? You become a victim. What else? As a result, what do you become? Yes, perfect. I've got the right answer here, Bala. Thank you so much for answering. That the answer is failure. The only thing that doesn't need effort, thank you for answering. The only thing that doesn't need effort is failure. Because you don't need to do anything to fail. You just have the wrong attitude and when you've gone down the drain, that's what you encounter, right? Failures. So it needs that deteriorating attitude about your past, your present, about your whole self. So the only thing that you have control over in your life is attitude. You can't control anything else that's happening around you. Because most of the people around, the irony is that most of the people around us live as if they have no control over their attitude. They think, they act, they act, they be themselves, they conduct themselves, they do things as if they have no control over their own attitude. How sad is that? Because it is your attitude that defines and decides everything. Your attitude decides whether you're going to read or you're not going to read. Your attitude decides whether you're going to try or whether you're going to give up. Your attitude decides whether you're going to blame yourselves or you're going to blame others for the situation. Your attitude decides whether you will tell the truth or you will live under the carpet of lies all your life. Your attitude decides whether you're going to love or you're going to hate, whether you're going to act, you're going to take action, or you're going to keep procrastinating all your life. And finally, the best of all is your attitude will decide, and it will decide whether you're going to succeed or whether you're going to fail. It's all about the attitude. When it's such a beautiful thing, guys. We were created by this supernatural force called God, who created the planet, who created the whole solar system, our beautiful planet, and he created us. Do you ever notice, if you just stop and think, you just go outdoors into the nature, just stop and ponder at the nature, at how the way the God has created nature, how unfinished the nature is, and how unfinished we are as humans. And he left, so he created these two unfinished things, and he left the unfinished human to finish the unfinished nature. Have you ever observed God creating streams and rivers, but not creating bridges over them? That's left upon us. He's created this whole huge world and put us humans all across the world, but left upon us unfinished humans to discover how to go about from one place to another and find each other and live in close brethren. So it's all about you completing the unfinished nature, and you as human finishing, completing your own self. This is so incredible, and all that we become, so all that you choose to become to complete yourself is up to you. It's up to your attitude. You can either choose to remain unfinished the way you entered the planet, you can choose to exit that way. Second option is you can choose to, in what manner you want to finish yourself, you want to complete yourself, with the right attitude or with the deteriorating one. And the third option is you can create the right attitude by modeling those people out there who've been there, done that. Nobody is asking you to reinvent the wheel. What is it that took Mother Teresa to be that she was, to be the human being that she was, to have the love and the passion that she always had? What did it take Mahatma Gandhi, as our father of our nation, to fight with all the values? What are the values that he stood strong with all through the years? He endured the entire freedom struggle. What is it that Nelson Mandela did to be that light in the prison and to spread that light even in spite of being encaged in a small space? So what have all these people done? Just need to model that right attitude. So when you find yourself asking this question, guys, that wow, I want to be like him or I want to be like her, the first question that you need to ask is, what is the attitude that he or she is living with? Do you want to have the same lifestyle as that person is? Do you want to build the same relationships that that person is having? Or do you want to build the same love around you that that person is having? Decide to go with the attitude that that person has towards these things. How is that person's attitude towards wealth? How is it towards their relationship? So many times earlier, just a few years ago, when I used to see Vishal very often, hear and continuously watch videos about those people in the West, who have the right attitude about wealth, I used to ponder whether why is he doing this. Over a time, I realized that it is about observing someone who's having the right attitude of wealth, and over the time, it's a porous thing which gets onto you as well, where you also start having the right attitude about wealth. It makes a difference. And now I've seen that gradual shift happening in over the years, where he's got a shift in his attitude over the wealth. And then that makes us different from all the conventional people and the conventional attitudes about wealth. That's the difference. So that's where in the area of where he's worked in the area of wealth, you can work in the area of relationships. Do you envy the way people have relationship with their loved ones, with their spouse or with their children or with their girlfriends or boyfriends? That's where you need to go down and model them. And that's the best gift that you can give yourself, the gift of creating the right attitude. So that one thing, guys, if you want to share that one aha moment that you got from listening to this a few minutes on attitude, what does that be? And that one thing that you really want to be doing in this week to get, maybe to make that little shift in her attitude, what would that be? Come on, guys, I would love if you share here more. Okay, so Raju says your attitude decides everything in our life, which is so true. That's what we just discussed. Failure and demotivation is the flip side of attitude. You're right. So what is it, that one aha moment, if you had, how are you going to work on this? Any action that you're going to be taking this week to work on your attitude? What would that be? Yes, you can feel free to share. This is where we're creating our community, guys, and your community, it could be your best support. If you share something, it'll help others to maybe take that action for themselves too. It'll help motivate others to at least keep taking some of the other action. So if you feel you've gotten something and you can really take action here, please feel free to share. I think my laptop is hung. I'm not able to see the comments here. Okay, I found 1,000 ways in which do not work. Edison on failure to find the right filament material for bulb. Yes, beautiful. That was one thing. Meditation is what a couple of people have shared. You're going to meditate. Yes. Thank you. Attitude of gratitude. Yes, that's a work. That's one good thing that you can start with. Maintain a gratitude journal if you can at the end of the day, and that will be a good thing to do, guys. Really, attitude decides everything. I'm already doing that. Working on your failure. Thank you, Rajesh. That's a big one. Preeta says, right attitude plus action attracts success. Right. Your attitude will determine the action that you will take, and that's what is going to make you successful. Affirmations, yes. One more important thing that all of us can do is have more affirmation. That's the positive language we're trying to the signals that we give ourselves and we put out to the universe, and that's where it makes all the difference. We've also spoken about affirmations in the book and how good they work on a trader as well. Look at the glass as half full. Yes, perfect. That's the best example of having the right attitude. Model successful people's attitude. Yes, guys, that's the best thing. If possible, one home play for this week would be try to read at least 30 minutes every day on someone who's successful. Try. The best thing to read is an autobiography. If you read autobiographies of these big people, there are tremendous gems hidden there on how they have lived their lives so that we can imitate theirs. But try to read, if not 30, at least 15 minutes every day. Try to read up on the net or wherever you can lay your hands on some autobiographic material where you can read about them. I'm preparing an attitude journal. Very good. That's nice. So take action, Sandeep Joshi says. Yes, perfect. That's where it lies. Because when you learn something without implementing, that learning but not doing is the end of knowing. That's how it goes, guys, and that's true. So do that, guys. I'd love to hear. Please keep commenting. Please keep sharing this video. This video is what the conversation we had. Maybe that may be useful to a lot of people around in your community, in your friends, your family, your colleagues, or your children, your spouses. Please keep sharing so that they may have these little shifts and also motivate people to take action in your community. And as usual, thank you so much for being on the show. Lots of love to you guys. I'll see you soon next Wednesday. Take care. Bye bye.